What's going on, everybody? This is Ryan from the 1796 Sports coming at you with a first of its kind of video essay. Um, what I want to address in this little video: who do you think of when you think of the best Tennessee coach in Tennessee football history? Obviously, the undisputed number one answer, Robert Neyland, made Tennessee football what it is today. He laid the bedrock for why Tennessee is even relevant in football. We were losing to Vanderbilt on the reg before he got there, so he's the easy, undisputed number one, no questions asked. But when it comes to the second best coach in Tennessee history, I think there's some room for debate. Now, I know most people are going to point to Fulmer just because he does have the 98 national championship, but what I want to get across to everybody today is why I think Johnny Majors beats him out by just a little bit. So first, let's take a look at Phillip Fulmer's coaching trajectory for how he got to Tennessee to be the head man on the sidelines. Started out at Tennessee as a student coach before going to Wichita State, spending just a single year at Vanderbilt, working with a familiar name to many Tennessee fans of the current day, George McIntyre, and that is our freshman quarterback coming in. That is his grandfather, a legendary Vanderbilt coach. Well, I guess as legendary as you can be being a Vanderbilt coach. But it took him a little bit to get back to Tennessee there. Now let's take a look at Major's trajectory to being Tennessee's head man. Started out at Tennessee just like Fulmer on the sidelines before taking a few pit stops throughout the conference as an assistant at Mississippi State and Arkansas, before finally being the head man at Iowa State, and then making a name for himself at Pitt before he got to Tennessee. But obviously, the most important thing in this discussion is what did they do as the University of Tennessee head coach? So let's start with Fulmer. Head coach from 1992 to 2008, compiled a 151-52 record, nearly won 3/4 of his games. And he also won the 2 SEC championships, one in 1997 with Peyton Manning, one in 1998 to go along with the one national championship that most current fans can remember. Feels like 98, baby. He's got a lot going for him as far as this argument goes in his favor. He's best remembered for being an ace recruiter, getting a lot of the players there in the early 90s to become what Tennessee became in the late 90s, with winning those back-to-back SEC titles, and also having a few really, really great teams in the early 2000s. 2001 comes to mind, 2004, before finally, slowing down near the end of his career and having to resign, basically, as Tennessee's coach in 2008. Let's take a look at Majors now. 116-62 record, which I will admit is a far worse winning percentage when you stack it up against Fulmer. But he does beat him out with one more SEC title, having won the conference in 1985, 1989, and 1990. And the one national championship he did win was not at Tennessee, but it was with Pittsburgh. But it adds to my argument, which you may think sounds silly now, but to me, it's a big reason why I view Majors in a better light than Fulmer. Majors is best known for rebuilding the program from the kind of middling era at the end of the 1970s, at the end of the Bill Battle era. However, it did take him 8 years to finally win that first conference title, the program's first since 1969, when they won the conference in 1985, having gone 9-1-2, beating Miami in the Sugar Bowl. Fondly remembered as the Sugar Bowls. I remember watching that DVD that the Vol Network put out through my childhood. A very fun team to look back and admire there. Now, I know this part of the video doesn't have anything to do with their coaching, but I think it's fun to look at their playing career a little bit. Fulmer played for Tennessee from 1969 to 1971 as an offensive guard. Tennessee was really good in that era. Like I just said, the last conference title before Majors in 1985, Fulmer was a part of that team. And earned all conference honors as a guard. But Majors has him beat by a landslide as far as a player legacy goes. Majors has his number 45 retired. He was a single-wing tailback for the Vols in the mid-50s, All-American, SEC MVP twice, and should have won the Heisman in 1956 over Paul Hornung of Notre Dame. Notre Dame was 2-8 that year. So even before Peyton Manning got snubbed in 1997 by Charles Woodson in the ad campaign that was going on at the end of that year, Tennessee was getting snubbed for Heisman's, and it's a damn shame. I alluded to this earlier, but the number one reason I think Majors edges out Fulmer in this discussion is that he came to Tennessee in 1977, his first year. In 1976, he won his national championship with Pittsburgh. So he came home to his alma mater to take the job and rebuild the program. That speaks volumes to me about how much he loves the school, how much he loves the state, and how much he cared for this program. Meanwhile, you look at Phillip Fulmer's ascension to the head coaching position at Tennessee. He was the interim at the start of 1992 while Majors was recovering from a heart surgery. Tennessee went 3-0. Majors comes back. Tennessee goes 2-3 with Majors. The school then decides to promote Fulmer to the head coaching position, basically forcing Johnny Majors to resign. Now, I'm not saying there were shady dealings, but I am saying the Knoxville News Sentinel is saying that there were shady dealings for Fulmer to get that position. Apparently, he made 20 or more phone calls to athletic board members. He was talking to the president, Joe Johnson, the athletic director, Doug Dickey. It seems like there was some behind-the-scenes maneuvering going on by Fulmer and a few others at the university for Fulmer to achieve that position. And the last reason that I think Majors edges out Fulmer, besides Majors coming home to rebuild his alma mater right after winning the national championship elsewhere, and Fulmer's shady dealings to get the job from Majors in 1992, is Fulmer heavily damaged his legacy when he was the athletic director at Tennessee from 2017 to 2021. I was in school those years, and I was hoping Fulmer would do things that were good for the program. But then he hired Jeremy Pruitt, and then the cheating scandal happened, and then he had to resign. And for some reason, they put him out at a press conference and let him say things, but I don't think he deserved that chance after what he did to the program. Luckily, Danny White came in and hired Josh Heupel, and we are where we are now. Still have a little bit of ways to go to get to where we want to go, but that very easily could have damaged the football program in a major way, and we are lucky it did not. Also, how much of Fulmer's coaching ability was due to the fact that he spent a dozen years learning under Majors? I mean, I think that's a huge part of this discussion too. And for my money, Majors is the coach to remember as the second best coach in Tennessee football history. That's all I got to say on the matter, and go Vols.